There was also one American guest came, and now we show him his room. And in the evening, he come to me. He said, "Sir, I have a small problem." I said, "Oh, what is the problem?" He said, "I take my own bike, and I have now a Tandem in my room."
Hi, I'm Ennie from Boat Bike Tours. I work in sales and marketing, and welcome to the Boat Bike Tours podcast. I'm very excited that today I get to talk with a real expert of our world. So I have Michael van der Heuvel here.
Nice to meet you.
He's a skipper on the Willemstad, one of our bigger ships. And I'm happy you're here.
You're welcome. Nice to be here.
Can you start telling something about yourself? How did you get to Boat Bike Tours?
Yes. Well, actually, the boat bikers came to us because I was already on the ship. And that ship started to sail for boat bike tours with bikes. And net after the Corona time. So, yeah, I came on board with the boat bike tours.
So how long are you a skipper for?
Well, I do this job already 26 years.
Wow.
And from that years, I do now almost 5 years now with boat bikes, with bike tours.
Mm-hmm. And how do you like the concept?
The concept is very good. You see it start to be very popular. We never thought about that. It was in the beginning, you saw ships with bikes and thought, oh, I don't want to do that. And now I like it.
Yeah.
You see people happy. And of course, Holland is one of the most beautiful countries to go on cycle and safe.
Yeah. I mean, the Netherlands are really a paradise for cyclists.
You see that also when people come and they have the 1 or 2 days, they say how the structure for the bikes are so perfect and they like it. The bikes have their own pad. The bikes, the walking paths are for their own people. The roads.
Yeah. The bike infrastructure here is amazing.
For a small country as Holland, is it quite safe to sit on the bike?
Yeah. And I think especially for a lot of our international guests, this is really different from what they're used to. Because in the US, for example, it's very difficult to find bike paths or even cycle.
Not only in America, what you think of Germany?
Yeah, exactly. Germany also.
And, you know, and especially America, yeah, the roads are, and the distance, I mean, the distance from one town to the other town is sometimes too far on the bike. And in Germany, the same. Mm-hmm. So there are not many countries who are the same like Holland. I think many countries can learn from the Netherlands how they build the roads. And I think slowly Germany start with that.
Yeah, I think so too. But especially for our international guests who come to the Netherlands to experience the real Dutch way and see Dutch cities, Dutch way of life. It's a great way to vacation here.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
they get to experience the Netherlands the real Dutch way by cycling from city to city.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is true. Yeah.
And the Willemstad does uncycled tours, right?
Uncycled tours, yeah.
Unguided, I mean.
Unguided, you have free go in the evening. You get, with the tour leaders, you get an interview to tell about the roads, what you can take, what are the options. And of course, you're free to go where you want and to be, so long you're maar op time back on board.
Yeah. So for those who have never done a boat bike tour before, what is the concept?
The concept is you can do 2 things. You can bring your own bike, but you can also rent a bike. And I have nog a funny story to tell about a bike. There was also an American person. I come later on that. But the concept is that you can rent a bike. When you come on board, we show you the bike. And the next day we install the bike up your special height. And if it is good. And if you don't like the bike, because if you have a normal bike and you think, because people surprised of that in the Netherlands we have sometimes quite a lot of wind. And then they come back on board and they say, is there an option that I can take an e-bike because the wind? Most of the time we have the options to choose another bike. So the concept is quite good, to be honest. But I want to come back on that small thing. There was also one American guest came, and now we show him his room. And in the evening, he come to me. He said, "Sir, I have a small problem." I said, "Oh, what is the problem?" He said, "I take my own bike, and I have now a tandem in my room."
What?
I said, "A tandem?" I thought he was joking. So I went to his room with the man, and yes, they were standing in tandem.
What?
So what he did, he brought his own tandem in part in his luggage to the ship, and he thought, "Oh, I will build it in the ship together, and then they will bring it out." But we had to open the window, anders we couldn't take him out. He was afraid that he had to take it out again. But yes, that was a good thing. That was wonderful. We laugh about that. Yeah, it happened.
I never heard of someone bringing their tandem and building it up in his room.
But that is, that also people, that the lady are not good on the bike, but if they have a tandem, they can bicycle together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's convenient. But also it's very rare for international guests to bring their own bike because it's so difficult to transport it on the airplane.
You're surprised what you can take with your luggage. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is, You see many times that of the people can bring their own bikes, but you have also this special bikes. And you have smaller people, we have smaller bikes for that, but you have also this special bikes, 3 wheels. And then many get the request, can we take them on board? Of course you can. There is for every problem is a solution.
Yeah, that's great. Do you have to solve a lot of problems in your job?
Yes. I mean, it can happen that on the way the bike break of an empty tire or the parts is on board, so we can change the wheel or I give you a spare. It happened also sometimes that people bring their own bike and something go break and there is not an option. There is on board always a bike available to use.
Yeah, that's good. And can you just explain what exactly is your job? What responsibilities do you have? And how does life on the ship work? So crew members and so on.
Yes, my job is normally that we sail from point A to B and the whole week. Dus I will be sure that the bikes are arranged for the people who come on board, all labels, and I be sure that all the nautic crew, zoals the sailors, know what for job they have, when they have to be standby, when they have to clean, or whatever the option is bring, or when if one of the guests are in emergency and they need help, that we give the help. We can take another bike, or what I said before in our conversation, that I have my moped on board. So sometimes if there is an emergency, we can take the moped and we drive to the person to help the person.
Okay. Does that happen a lot, that people get hurt?
Not so many times, but it happens sometimes that people are surprised about some roads and then they fall down. It happened. I mean, and yeah, I had one time in Texel, was also one lady who fell down and she couldn't use the bike because it was in her pulse. She wanted to try it, but I said, yeah, but if you take the brake, it will hurt. So I went with my moped to Texel, the pickup. My colleague take the bike so that the bike came back on board, and I take the lady back on my moped. And she asked me, can you do that the rest of the week? I said, I'm sorry. But
So you get to be very creative in problem solving.
You have to.
Yeah,
You have to be. You have to make the people happy.
definitely. So how many passengers are there on the Willemstad?
On the Willemstad, we can have maximum 98. And we have on crew 19. So also that they need a sleep place. 19 crew, waarvan 5 nautic and 14 inside. So then you have 2 cooks. You have 2 in the restaurant, 2 on the reception, 2 on the bar, 3 in the housekeeping, and the most important, the night watch, who will keep you in the night safe.
Perfect. And because of so the tour is unguided, how does cycling work for the guests? Do they just know where to go? Do they get maps? How does it work?
They are maps. They get every tour. So the people come on board, and then every evening there is a meeting with all the guests, and the tour leader will tell the guest what for best route to take. And they get from every tour what the options are. An A4 paper with the tour. Also, when they come on board, you have a boat bike app, bicycle app. And on that app, you will download it on board with a barcode, and that gives you also from every day the tour. So if you lose your paper, you have it always in your phone how to travel back to the ship or to a place.
So this is more for the guests who say, I don't want to be cycling in a big group and I don't want to be accompanied by guides all the time. I want to just experience it myself a little. So they can choose for the unguided tours.
Absolutely. Of course, you have people who are coming in a group, but people like to more independent. You know, go and start whenever they want. Yeah, sometimes they have to get off on board because the ship have to leave. But in Alkmaar, you have also that people go first in town, and then they come back, and then they go nog on the bicycle because you have there some time.
So they have a little more freedom than if they would.
They have always
chose
freedom
for a guided tour.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking. Actually, I would have never thought of that question, but a lot of people are asking, do we have toilet breaks on our cycling routes?
Well, I know that there is a toilet app.
There is a toilet
There is
app?
a toilet app, yes. And I hear that from a tour leader who told me that about that app. And that gives you example the places where you can use the toilet.
Perfect.
And especially is that app for the ladies, because for the men is it a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's so.
And we have
of course
plenty
true.
of trees in Holland.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, what is your favorite tour?
Well, of course, I am on the ship and I do this tour. I love it. It is nice. But if you ask my favorite tour, I will say the Hanse tour. And why? You know Holland as well. You know how crowded Holland can be, especially in the big cities. Amsterdam can be chaos, big bike. Believe me, I hear that many times also from guests when they go from Volendam back to the ship and they say, Amsterdam, you have to watch. Because some Dutch people think that red is green and green is red.
Yeah.
And you know Amsterdam, it is really like that. So I prefer the Hanse Route. Why? You have the old towns, the nature, the beautiful view. And of course, it stopped in my city where I've been born. And I called the place Harderwijk. Harderwijk is a very old city and famous from the eel, an old fishing town.
So, you recommend that tour to our international guests also?
Well, recommend is a big word because we have also many other tours, but you ask of what is my favorite tour. So the other tours are beautiful. I mean, the South Tour, the North Tour, the Hanse Route. I know what our ship is doing is straks the Belgian. Belgian tour is also very nice. But it is different than the Hanse Route.
So I also think for the Netherlands, if international guests want to see the Netherlands, they want to experience also the Dutch way. And that doesn't only include the famous big cities.
If you really want to experience the Dutch way, then you take the big cities.
Yeah? But if you're interested in cycling, I think you would also like to see nature. And therefore the Hanse Route would be good.
I agree with you. But that really Dutch way, you have to learn also in crowded places. That is the way to learn it. I mean...
So they should just take back-to-back tours, like maybe all of the tours, and then they experience all the big cities.
All the big cities. I mean, Holland is big, but I think give it a chance. Yeah, because some people like big cities. It is crowded, yes, You have to watch twice over your shoulder, sometimes 3 times. And believe me, red is not green, and green is not red. Believe me.
So do you experience that a lot, that people come back to you and say, hey, I really enjoyed my tour. Which tour should I be doing next?
Because normally when people come back from the cycling, we always ask, and how was your bicycling? What did you see? Oh, we saw beautiful tube fields, we saw the windmills, we saw this. Every day we ask the people if they enjoy it. And of course, some people enjoy it, some people didn't enjoy it. What I liked the most was even the people bicycling in the rain. They do.
And rain happens a lot here.
Welcome to the Netherlands, yes. But they are diehards. They're really diehards. I mean, I went to school and I have to drive every day 15 kilometers, go to school and back. And if it was raining, I take the bus. Because to get wet on school, that was not nice. But people do. And they love it. Because it's the only chance that they can cycle in Holland. So weather or no weather.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they leave with the sun and come with the rain back. Or just the other way around.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
And what cultures do you usually accommodate on the Willemstad?
Well, we are sailing international, so we have the most people. What we have is German. We have also English, Dutch, French, American, Japanese. It happens all kinds, but the most what we have is German.
But if you have international guests, do you also experience them having culture shocks?
Golden shocks. To explain, sorry.
So, are there surprising things or things that surprise them when they come to the Netherlands?
Oh, absolutely. Because, example, America, you cannot compare with Holland.
No.
Germany, say 50-50, can compare it with Holland. So they are totally different. And the good thing is also they don't have to be worried because the tour information what you get is in all languages what at the moment is on board. So when there is Dutch people, they get it in Dutch. If you have German people, they get it in German. And when you have English or French, they will do it in English.
Do you also hold the meetings then in 3 languages?
If there is, yeah.
Wow.
And in the reception, you get also when you come in, you see a big board understanding the times when the meeting is. So one day you start with German, English, Dutch. And the next day is it maybe Dutch, English, German. So it is not all the time the same. Because then you get maybe people, they start to complain from, yeah, but why this language first and why this? So they always choose every day, they start with a different language.
Does it happen in the morning?
No, always in the evening.
Oh.
Depends how many language they have to do. So it can happen that one language will be do or 2 before dinner time. And then after dinner time. Because you want to give the people in the evening also a little bit free.
Yeah, so the people can already plan ahead. Oh, today I have my meeting after dinner, so
They know exactly, yeah.
Perfect.
So I can take my shower now and then have the meeting, or we have first the meeting and then the shower, example. Yeah.
Do you sometimes get surprising questions?
All the time.
What's your favorite?
The favorite question. Well, some of them ask if there is close by a beer garden where we can drink beer. Or I know a good pub, or of a good restaurant, because people like to eat also sometimes outside. Yeah.
Yeah, the beer garden question might be from Germans.
Germans. Now, on the end of course, on the end of the tour, they ask, well, we like to do this in the future more, which you recommend, which tour to do. And then I show, of course, the map, what we have with all different tours. Sometimes also sailing, we do also seagull tours. You know, then you're on the bike, but also sailing with a seagull ship.
Yeah.
We do that
nice.
also. So then these people we have also.
Yeah, and now we also have a guided tour on a sailing ship. So it's something for everyone.
Something for everyone, yeah.
Yeah, and do you have any nice stories of guests that happened to you within the last 16 years?
Nice tours. Oh, I have so many. But yeah, I have a nice story, and that is... that was not with a cycle tour, but that was gewoon a group of people were on board, and they sent to the wife, we want to go out for one evening. And I said, okay, I know something, but we go all in suit, and we go like a VIP group.
Oh.
So we went in the pub, all quite in the suit, but that was fun. We had a good time, yeah.
That sounds good. And do you sometimes see guests again? So they want to do the same tour again?
Oh, many times. Sometimes you see, because when we have embarkation and people go and come, you're docking together with two ships. And the new guests come and they said, hey, Michael, you're still here. Then I have to think, because I meet so many people, I have to recognize from, okay, help me, what happened maybe? And then the light is burning from, oh yeah, that was.
I mean, you have a lot of guests per year.
Well, we can have maximum 94 guests, 96. And then, yeah, we do that till October, so you can count. That is from March till October. So 4 times per month.
Yeah.
Mal 18. You talk about, say, maximum around 300 guests per month. And if you have to recognize them all...
Yeah, I think that's not
then
possible.
I'm smart.
Yeah?
Then I'm smart. If I recognize them all...
Okay. When do you even get home if you're spending all your time on the ship?
Home. You know, to sit home is nice, but I like traveling, look around, meet new people. And what I said, you can sit on board and do nothing. And at home, you sit achter the graniums. So no, I love to sit on the ship. I'm always on board, actually. I go every Thursday. I go only home to check the post and then back on the ship. I like my free life. And sailing and meet people and talk with people and dancing evening, because we have also live music on board. Do a little bit crazy with the people.
Live music? When do you do that?
Normally we have it every Wednesday. Normally. Depends when the musicians have time. But once a week we have live music.
That sounds good. Are the guests excited for that?
Yes, they love dancing. Yeah. And they say also to me, Mike, you come for a drink? I said, yes, but I don't drink alcohol. I only drink cola or Fanta, whatever, but I'm not drinking at all alcohol when I'm on the ship. Never.
Yeah, I mean, I would be scared if I would see my captain drink.
No, you don't have to be scared. I mean, of course you can drink a beer or a glass of wine, but you have a limit.
That was a joke.
I know, but still. I mean, of course it happened that people say from, oh, look, the captain's sitting there drinking. It happened, of course, but you do it with limit. Because it is stupid when nobody can drink a beer or drink a glass of wine.
Yeah, of course.
You have to enjoy.
As long as you can still handle the ship.
And that is also one of the reasons why I don't drink, because in the years I saw things that I decided from, so long I'm on the ship, I don't drink.
Yeah. What did you see?
I'm talking about, and maybe that is zeker 15, 20 years ago, that one ship was leaving from Koblenz and almost hit us.
Oh.
And I was standing from, what is that? And then the engineer on the back, he was making a sound like this. And he didn't saw that the police was standing on shore, and he saw that what happening. And then, by the way, the German police boat came on site, and the ship had to go back, and the captain was arrested.
Oh, wow.
But that's a long time ago. The rules are a little bit more stronger, harder. You're checking more. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Very good thing.
I think so
Safety
too.
is number one. Rule number one.
Do a lot of accidents happen with the bikes, not only with the ships?
No, not that many. Of course, people fall down or they not really watched or just didn't saw the car, but really a big accident that somebody had an accident with the car. In all the career that I was on board, I never hear that.
Oh, good.
That I fall down because you have in Holland off-road. Sometimes you have to take it off-road or they didn't see this or that and then they fall down. Or it is a little bit slippery but accident with a car, never.
And what's the procedure if someone gets hurt?
Depends if they are alone. Normally there is always somebody there who to help. I mean, people around. That is in Holland good, that everybody help each other. Normally everybody have also the phone number from the tool leader with them. And on the paper what they have is standing also the number from the tool leader or from the office. So that if something happened and you are alone, that always somebody can call to the office from this lady and then they inform the tool leader and then the tool leader of the person get the phone number from the tool leader and then the tool leader always come. And if there is a problem, then
you come with your moped.
Then the tool leader called me and said, listen, Mike, we have a problem because one of the guests had to go to the hospital, but the bikes are still standing here. Can you arrange something? Then, of course, I have my beautiful scooter on board. Then I take one of the sailors with me. I will bring it to the bike and we be sure that we bring the bike back on board. Or when it is too far away, that we order a taxi and the taxi bring the bike back.
So there's a plan for everything.
There is a plan for everything.
Well, I think we learned a lot today from you. The responsibilities of being a skipper. And thank you also for your recommendation of, or you said the Hanse tour was your favorite tour.
Yeah.
I think that's also a great insight from someone who knows.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Any pleasure.
We also ask a frequently asked question at the end of each episode. And the question today is, are the bike seats comfortable?
To be honest, they're wonderful.
They're wonderful.
They're wonderful.
Great.
And yeah, we have to be honest. Yeah, in the past was worse, but they changed it and it is much better. Really good.
But if guests are suspicious of them not being comfortable, are they allowed to bring their own bike seat?
They're allowed to buy their own seat, take them with them. And if you're still not happy, you can always go to the shop and buy your own seat and use that if it is comfortable. We open for everything.
Perfect.
It is not a must.
Okay, that sounds great. And if our viewers or listeners have more questions, they can always contact us or visit our website, boatbiketours.com. So thank you for listening and hopefully we get to see you in the next episode.